What's up, you guys? Scott here. And yes, you're right. You've seen the changes that are happening in our industry as a coach or a therapist, and you're probably realizing one thing. In 2021, although we've just started and definitely towards the end of last year, everything's starting to change in our industry. You maybe notice even the operations of your therapy and coaching business have drastically changed, from clients that maybe even wanted to see you face to face are now all opting for online or vice versa. You've probably noticed massive impact in the way you get clients, how you make money. And not only that, what's making it worse is you have every guru, every mentor, every expert screaming at you and making noise on social media saying in order for you to grow your business, you've got to have funnels, you've got to do events, you've got to be authentic, you've got to be a storyteller, you've got to have multiple products. And all this noise, just like you, is making me absolutely crazy. So I was in two minds whether I wanted to make this video because I'm seeing massive shifts in the industry and I saw these shifts coming, unfortunately. So what I decided to do was make a video, and guys, I'm going to give you the raw truth of what's happening in this industry. No longer will the coaching and therapy industry be the same as it once was in the past. You maybe even realize getting clients is getting harder. Doing social media is becoming overflooded with other experts all trying to do the same thing as you. Trying to build an email list and getting response rates from your email list is starting to lower. Facebook ads are getting more expensive. Instagram ads are getting more expensive. Everybody's saying you've got to be on all of these social media platforms, and every day there's a new social media gimmick coming into play that you're told you have to have an account in order to create a business. You may be even noticing that you're getting more no's from clients now, no matter how low you drop your prices. So yes, the industry is changing. So what I want to do in this video to help you avoid the culling of therapists and coaches that don't make these dramatic shifts in their business and help you rise to the top that you have worked so hard for. So a lot of these things I'm going to talk about are definitely going to go against probably what you want to believe. You're probably going to get frustrated. I rustle a lot of feathers, but I don't care. I really think it's important to give you guys the truth and show you how to survive the next round of culling that is happening in this industry, so you survive into 2021 and every year after. So guys, let's get ready for a wild ride. Let me take you into what needs to happen in your coaching and therapy business if you want to survive moving forward. So let's go, guys. So I want to preface this start of this training with this statement right here. And please remember this all the way through this video, but also for the rest of your career as well. The only thing that matters for you to win as a coach or a therapist, the only thing that matters is the result of your product. No matter what marketing you do, what funnel you build, what ad you run, what discounts you give, what strategy you use, what certification you have, or even who you were trained by, all those things are superfluous if your product does not get results. First place I want to start is what I call it's all about the product, and really looking at your product and service and making sure that it works. So is what you're doing actually working for your clients? Now, if you look across the industry, therapists and coaches alike, when they're trying to build their business, they get certified, then their focus on is to build the business. But after months of trying to build their business, they usually come back with a statement like, my marketing doesn't work. So what do I mean by this? Well, years and years ago, and what you're realizing now is the whole market is shifting. The old school marketing tactics that are taught to therapists and coaches no longer work. There's really no place for those things because everyone is transitioning online. And the online marketing world is, yes, it's full of noise. It's full of all these gurus and coaches and mentors screaming about in order to build your business. It's all about email lists. It's about chatbots. It's about conversion rates. It's about click-through rates. It's about creating funnels and invisible funnels. It's about the latest TikTok. It's the latest thing on Instagram. It's Instagram lives and stories. It's having a Facebook group. It's writing an Amazon bestseller. The latest coaching technique, in order to build your business, you have to, fall in love with yourself again and be authentic. And everything these coaches and therapists are concentrating on is everything but the product. When it comes to running a successful coaching and therapy business, I want you to really remember that statement I gave to you at the start, which is it's all about the results of your product. That's the only thing that matters. When it comes down to it, and the industry changing so much, the old school marketing ways, or even these people that call themselves marketing experts or scaling experts or funnel experts, they're building businesses just on marketing itself. But the product is usually not only flawed, the results are very scarce. So as a therapist or a coach, we've got to realize one thing about our clients. Our clients are getting smarter. They're looking for results. They're looking for testimonials. They're looking for success stories. It's no good in a time right now, especially being online, where you can throw up like a landing page and a funnel and have some really slick marketing copy that's going to convince people to spend money on a service, like a therapy or a coaching service, or even a product or something like that. So we have to start thinking outside of the box and get away from just focusing on the marketing. Marketing itself does have a place, but no great marketer, no matter how good they are, could ever use enough marketing or say the right words, build the right funnel or the right squeeze page if the product they're selling does not get results. If the product they're selling suffers in comparison to the marketing. At the end of the day, if their product does not achieve results, it doesn't matter how good that marketing is. But therapists and coaches, and I fell into this trap myself, and it's something I don't do anymore because I realize it's not important, are so busy trying to fix the marketing when their attention should be on the product itself. It seems quite backwards that if you create a great product or a service and you know it really works, you can be terrible at marketing. Why? Because word will start getting out. People will start talking. People will leave reviews about the product. And I will talk about how this actually works coming up very soon. Now, secondary, if you can't explain your product, which most people can't, I know I struggled for a long time too, which most cannot in a way that normal people would understand. Imagine trying to explain to the general public hypnosis or coaching or RTT or NLP in a squeeze page or a funnel or a short 2-minute video. It's impossible. It took you weeks, if not months, just to understand how to articulate hypnosis and coaching. But again, we go out and try and market and trying to convince people of coaching and therapy and trying to explain this abstract idea to them within just a couple of minutes or a squeeze page. It becomes impossible. So if you cannot explain your product, which most people can't, like I said, people will ask others for reviews. They'll start asking other people, have you heard of X and Y therapist? Have you got any reviews? What did you think about them? They will go online. They'll look for reviews. They'll look for success stories and testimonials. And if your product sucks, no matter how good you are at marketing, it will fail and you will fail. So your concentration cannot just be on the marketing. Marketing, no matter how good it is, will not solve a broken product. I know for years, all I concentrated on as a therapist, because I could not compete with all the other marketing stuff that was going on at the time, was just making a better product than my competition. Hands down, what's going to help you win in this very oversaturated market is the product. The only thing that matters is the result of your product. So I spent all my time, even what I do now with my mentoring company, is I'm focusing on the products that I have, and I'm making better products than my competition. I'm not focused on being on every social media platform, getting followers, having likes, having shares, creating funnels, doing ads, and all of those things, all these other experts, building email lists, TikTok, Instagram lives. I'm not spending my time that is very limited on these things. I'm basically shutting the windows, I'm locking the doors, and I'm spending the majority of my time trying to improve upon a product that has already been proven to work. And even though it's working and it's getting results, I'm constantly tweaking it to make it better. And this is the attitude I had as a stop smoking therapist as well. So when it came to competing in a market where I was selling stop smoking services for 3, maybe 5 times the price of my competition, the only way that I won that war or won that fight was to create a better product than everybody else. Because I'm competing against other hypnotherapists and coaches at the time who had more experience than me, but their focus was at the time handing out more flyers, more business cards, going to more events, knocking on more businesses than I was. So while they're busy doing those things, which I didn't want to do because I tried and it didn't work, I concentrated on just becoming almost like a hermit and really creating the ultimate product, the ultimate result for my clients. So I was making my product better than my competition with the goal, the only goal I really had with the product, and this is what you want to think about for yourself as well, is to make my results happen quicker. Okay. So when I talked about my product, I just talked about results. I came to a point where I stopped trying to sell therapy, stopped trying to sell coaching, stopped trying to sell conversational hypnosis. So I realized that's not what my clients were looking for. They were looking for results. And if I was so busy trying to work on creating better results than my competition, why would I not talk about these things? So when I talked about hypnosis, here's what happens. In the day where I was trying to sell hypnosis, even now, if I'm trying to sell a coaching product, which I don't call it a coaching product, I just talk about results. When I was talking about hypnosis, what my clients would actually do is they'd hear my price, they'd say it's far too expensive. They'd assume that because I'm a hypnotherapist, I must be the same as everybody else. So what did they do? They went looking for other hypnotherapists and other coaches that were cheaper than me because the assumption they had made. Now, when I stopped talking about those things, I started talking about results. That's when things changed. And that's the way the marketing and the market itself is going. Look at how much competition is coming into this market right now. Everybody wants to become a therapist or a coach, but every therapist and coach is talking about the same thing. They're trying to outdo each other with better products, better services. And what I mean by this, not the product as a result, I mean the value. More for less. I'm going to give you more of my time for less money. I'm going to give you more packages, more program, more time in the seat, more savings, more discounts because I want your business. Again, taking the concentration away from just improving the product itself. So when I talked about results at the time, even now, no other therapist or a coach was talking about results. They were just talking about therapy and coaching, which was a lot of competition. But as soon as I started talking about I'm the expert as a stop smoking expert, and here's the results, even if they went looking for people under the assumption that maybe there's somebody else cheaper than Scott, there was no other therapist or a coach talking about these things. So I got that client. I became the only solution for my clients. And it was just the fact of changing what I was talking about and improving my product. Clients wanted results. They wanted to make sure that what they were going to pay for actually worked. So I see the market so obsessed with everything else, and their product fails the customer because they're so busy doing everything else. They cannot see the connection. They cannot see that the reason their business is not working and is not making money, because that's all that really matters, is because all of their time is spent on social media, trying to be famous, trying to diversify their products, which is a part of what I'm going to teach you guys. I don't teach you what not to do. And instead of spending their quality time on improving the product, getting better skills, making their product and the transformation they provide quicker than their competition, all of their time is spent really trying to become like famous online and become the face of their business. But all that really matters is the product itself. So the product fails the customer because they are so busy doing everything else. They cannot see the connection. They assume it's because they need to do or are not doing enough Facebook Lives, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook groups, speaking at events, gigs, all that sort of stuff. They're not doing enough of these. So they look at their business, they realize they're not making any money, even though they're doing 12 to 15 hours per day on social media instead of trying to improve their product and sell this thing and make it better. And they think, well, I'm still not making any money because really I've got the same product and service as everybody else. I just haven't seen that yet. I need to do more. So they start doing 16 hours a day, 17 hours a day, 18 hours a day. Before long, they're doing ridiculous 20-hour per day, but they're still not making any money because they haven't fixed the core of the problem. Here's the honest truth. If your product gets neglected, it doesn't matter how slick your marketing is, because once the smoke and mirrors dies, all that matters is the results, okay? So the honest truth of this, if your product has no reviews, it's not as good as you think it is. It's a bit of a harsh truth. So first off, what I want you to do, if you're struggling to get clients and sell your product and your service, and you're seeing these shifts in the market that I'm talking about today, look at your product and your service. Does it actually work? Or do you just want it to work so bad, even though you've got no reviews and no customers, you want it to work so bad, you're ignoring the fact that it doesn't. If your product doesn't work, improve it. Don't try and improve the marketing. Don't add a new funnel or a new website or a new discount. Improve the product itself. Then once you start getting clients, and the link there is you'll only get clients if the product is good and you're actually getting results. Once you start getting paid clients and getting reviews, make the product even better, and then better again. Become product obsessed. So improve your skills, improve the support, improve the customer experience, the value, the enrollment and the payment process, whatever it is. Don't try and improve the flash like everybody else is saying you have to do to run a successful business. Improve the product. So while the rest of the market is screaming that in order to be successful as a therapist or a coach and build a business, it's just about the marketing. You need an email list, you need chat box, you need funnels, you need ads. You have to write an Amazon bestseller. You have to be on TikTok. You've got to go on Instagram. You've got to do, Facebook groups. You've got to do all of these abstract things so you can get customers into your funnel, if it were, to create customers. And while that might work, what happens if at the end of that funnel, the product you're selling doesn't work? What's going to happen after all the hype that you've built online and on social media dies down and people experience the product, come out the other end of your product? What are they going to say? It didn't work. Don't buy it. Waste of time. I want my money back. So you can improve the marketing and make it slicker and better the second time round and a third time round and become like a copywriting expert. But if the product or the service sucks, is no matter how good your sales page or your funnel is, the product's going to be the end result. That's all clients are paying for. Now, like I said before, if you improve your product enough, people will start talking. People will start telling other people. You can be horrible at marketing, but the product will speak for itself. And when every other therapist or a coach is trying to build or outdo their funnel, their website, or their professional photos compared to yours, you concentrate on just shutting the doors and shutting the windows and focusing on the product, making your service quicker, making it better, making it more transformational. You will win this game as a coach or a therapist. It's all about the product. And I want you to remember that. I'm going to repeat that very many times because it's the only thing that matters. But you have to look at this. You have to look at your product and your service objectively. Does it actually work? The only way it works is people will have wanted to buy your product. If people don't want to buy your product, it's not the failure of the marketing. It's the failure that you've probably created something nobody wants. Or if people have experienced your product and not sent testimonials, not happy to send people to you, not happy to leave the results or reviews, it probably means it's not as good as you think it is. So you really have to look at your product and your service objectively. Does it really work? Or are you in almost like a delusion where you want it to work so bad, or you don't know another way to improve the product? You're just going to focus on all the fun things. So the first thing you want to do, guys, is realize that all that matters is the product and the result. And does your product actually work? The second thing I want to talk about is selling hypnosis and coaching will make you lose. Competition, we are surrounded by. But competition, as you've probably heard the statement before, competition is for losers. And I really mean that. If you have competition in your market as a therapist or a coach, you're probably selling the how and not the result. With so many people becoming therapists and coaches, remember we talked about the product just before. How are you going to stand out and differentiate your service in the market if you're selling the same thing as everybody else, which is I'm selling coaching, I'm selling RTT, I'm selling therapy, I'm selling healing. So is tens of thousands of people. Even every person that you were certified with is going out and selling the same thing. But we know if our clients are majority of the public, executives, CEOs, mums, dads, whoever they are, they don't know what this stuff is. They're not buying coaching and therapy. They're buying results. So making a massive switch, concentrating on the product and then selling the results of those products are interchangeable. They're together. You have to do the same thing at the same time. The only thing clients buy is results. But if your product sucks, as I mentioned before, everything I talk about today is all going to lead back to that perfect product. If your product sucks and you can't show results, it doesn't matter what you try and sell because no one's going to buy it. Clients are looking for results and that's what they're going to buy. In any market, believe it or not, there's like a winner takes all scenario, even if you don't recognize this. And the winner takes all scenario, the winner takes all therapist or a coach is the coach that is product obsessed. Look at any guru that you follow, the ones that actually have a really great product and a great service. They take the lion's share of the market because they're product obsessed. So in any market, any niche, any problem that you solve, there is always a winner takes all scenario. That one person will take 99% of the market share and the other 1% will be fighting everybody else for that last few clients. And it's the difference between a red and blue ocean. All the people in the red ocean are that 1%, and they're all trying to outdo each other with lower prices, more sessions, more hours, more time, more homework, more audios, more diversification. They're trying to tackle many niches at once. They're basically just giving more. And what are they trying to sell? Therapy and coaching. They're selling the same thing as everything else. Even when, or even if we would investigate the product itself, we'd find out that it was different. On the surface, it looks the same as everybody else. And for the average person who wants to resolve smoking or lose weight or something like this, only sees what's on the surface. They see it as, oh, that's just another therapy program, another coach out there. Well, I know how much Joe Blogs costs as a coach. I'm going to go to Jane Blogs because she's $100 cheaper. But then people find out that Jane's $100 cheaper, and the only way to get that client is to offer their services for another $50 cheaper, another $10 cheaper, buy one, get one free. When all the time their concentration should be on diversification as far as the niche, doing something different, realizing that if I'm trying to sell the same product and the same service as everybody else, I'm missing the point to stand out. How is the average person supposed to understand why I'm different? I can't even really explain why I'm different. All I know is I'm a therapist or a coach, and I'm going to call myself that. But over here in the blue ocean is where you need to be. Over in the red ocean, everyone's selling coaching and therapy. The blue ocean, the 1% of people that are taking 99% of the market, the winner takes all scenario, are over here on the right-hand side with an incredible product. They're not selling the how, they're selling results, which makes them stand out, as I mentioned for when I was a stop smoking therapist. So that the way that the 1% wins if they don't give up is by undercutting prices. So it's all the people in the red ocean. If they don't give up and they say, my marketing doesn't work, it's too hard. See how this is all coming together? If they don't give up, they start undercutting each other on prices, give away more free sessions, more discounts, more work for clients. Then they try and win by giving more and bloating their products and increasing the time it takes for clients to get results. I saw on Facebook, no word of a lie, a Facebook ad for 6 hypnosis sessions at 2 hours each for $27. This person is essentially paying themselves $2.25 per hour. How on earth do you expect to run a business off of that? Now, I get the logic. If I have low prices, but I give more, I'm going to get more people. But what happens? People see $27 in the red ocean and they go, well, I'm going to do the same for $26, then $25, then $24. Or the majority say, I can't compete with that. I'm just going to give up. But the people that come in to that service, knowing they're going to pay $27, are they going to be a quality client? Are they really going to stick around for 12 hours of therapy? Are not these the same people that want everything cheaper? Don't you think they're going to drop off and not give you a testimonial? And really, how good can that testimonial be? Because all of that person is concerned of is price. Now, knowing, and I'm not even going to talk about Facebook ads today, it would cost that person more to achieve and get a client to acquire a customer than what they make per customer. It'll probably cost them a couple of $100 per ad just to get one client at $27. So you've already lost. So sometimes looking at this stuff logically is incorrect. Always thinking about the product and thinking about how can I stand out in a very oversaturated market where I get out of the red ocean and start becoming a blue ocean therapist or a coach. How can I talk about results? And if you just make that change from talking about the how to results, you'll instantly go into the blue ocean. Then you can work on differentiating your product itself, which is really the core value here. So like I said before, I saw that Facebook ad, 12 hours of work, $27, $2.25 per hour, which is crazy, meaning they increase the likelihood of clients dropping off because they're time poor, because you're spending far too long with clients. Clients are time poor, they're not going to drop off. And if your clients, by giving them too much, start to drop off, they're not finishing your program, not leaving a review, they're wanting a refund, and they're ruining your product. So at the end of the day, if you're trying to improve the product by the marketing, we know that doesn't work because we have to improve the product itself. We know that we can't sell hypnosis and coaching because then we just get undercut with price. And if we start to bloat our sessions or bloat our product because we're trying to differentiate, again, in a very red ocean, blue ocean scenario, we try and bloat our product and give our clients more, there's a higher chance of our clients dropping off, which means that clients won't leave reviews. And remember all the way back when I said, what do clients look for? Reviews and testimonials. But if all your clients drop off because your stuff is taking far too long, you're not going to get those results. You're not going to get those reviews. See how it's all coming in full circle. So you become different at the product stage, not at the marketing stage. So you can't go from a red ocean by just changing the marketing. You don't differentiate yourself by changing your funnel or your website name, or you change your professional headshot from color to black and white. You don't differentiate at the marketing level, you differentiate at the product. And it's good news that you guys are hearing this, because while every therapist or coach, I'm telling you what they're doing, so I'm giving you some insight here. They're concentrating on what I talked about in the first slide. the email list, the funnel, the website, the marketing, because they're convinced that that's the reason why their business is broken. But I'm here to tell you why they're concentrating on that, which is red ocean. You can be here in the blue ocean improving your product. So when all the smoke and mirrors dies down of their funnels and their hype and their ads, and their clients actually go to the product itself, which is at the end of the funnel, realize it doesn't work, then leave shit reviews, you can be here concentrating on this. So once your clients come through, however you get them into your product, they come out the other end positive. Reviews, testimonials, they start sending you people, and you start to build and build and build based on the result of the product. And that's what you want to be concentrating on. So a new funnel, new logo, different website, a new bestseller book, new business name will never disguise a bad product. Everything starts from the product stage. You want to become product obsessed. So in the short term, the people that are great at marketing and building hype will make money. Then once that hype dies and time corrects things, the only thing left is the product. If people ask you what makes you different, you've already lost. So competition is for losers. And if people are asking you what makes you different, it means that you haven't extended or even talked to or being able to show how you're different. It means you've already lost. Clients should be able to see how you're different. And one way they'll see how you're different is results. How many coaches and therapists or gurus in general have you seen that have really slick marketing, funnels, website, all this hype, but no reviews? They claim to be the expert, but they've got no results. Sure, anyone can make themselves appear rich. Anyone can make themselves rich. But if they're claiming to be a guru to be able to teach you to do the same thing, but they've got no results, it means their product sucks. So one clear way to differentiate yourself and not have to struggle with that question of saying, well, how am I different? Well, I'm different because I'm a coach and they're a therapist. That doesn't fly anymore. People are wise to this stuff. Your differentiation comes from how good your product is. Is your product better than everybody else's? And the only way to answer that question is, are people leaving reviews? Are people leaving testimonials? Are people sending you people? You may not be as good as a therapist or a coach. Hard to hear. I had to go through this myself. You may not be as good as a therapist or a coach that you think you are if you're not getting testimonials and people aren't coming your way and being sent your way. The next big misconception for a lot of therapists and a lot of coaches making this mistake, they're viewing fame over success. They've come to an understanding or an assumption that you have to become famous first because that equals success. And the only way I'm going to have success is if I look remotely famous. So what do I mean by this? Followers, fans, likes, comments, shares, subscribers, people that have free enrollment into your service and your program do not matter if you do not have real buyers. That's the only thing that matters. The metric, the only metric you need to look at is your bank account. Your bank account tells you everything about your business, regardless, even outside of the coaching and the therapy world. Any business, any company, the only metric they're concentrating on is what's happening in the bank account. Is the company or the business bringing in cash or revenue? And at the same time, what's going to bring in cash and revenue is very happy customers. So I know a lot of you might say, well, Scott, my concentration is on making sure my customers are happy. And that's great. You should concentrate on that. But they're one in the same. Happy customers will pay. Angry customers want their money back. So again, looking at your bank account is all that matters. But a lot of people get caught in that delusion that my business is successful because I get followers, likes, fans. I have thousands, if not tens of thousands of people on my Instagram account. I have tens and thousands of people that are following me on Facebook. I have all these people that retweet all my Twitter. I have all these thousands, if not tens, if not millions of people following me on YouTube. And that's all well and good. But what's happening at the metric after that? What's really happening in your bank account? I can tell you right now, for the thousands of people and therapists and coaches I talk to on strategy calls every single year before they dive into my program, some are extremely well known. And I'm not going to mention their names because, that's part of the privacy thing. But they've come to me saying, I have hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm all over Instagram. I'm all over Facebook. I'm everywhere. I'm known for what I do, but I can't make money. What is happening? What is really happening inside their business is they've concentrated on fame and realizing that fame does not equal success. and their bank account is showing that fame does not equal success. So if you're concentrating on trying to build followers and fans, and under the assumption that your business is successful because you have millions or thousands of these things, I highly suggest you change the way you look at your business. If clients go looking for reviews on your product, here's the product thing again, and all they see are selfies, rants, boasting, stolen quotes, sharing other people's posts, how are they going to be convinced that you can actually help them? But what do you think is going to get more shares and likes? Do you think like a scantily dressed person with a quote that says like, live your best life? That post on Instagram and Facebook or even on wherever else is going to get more likes, shares, and comments. But the person looking for some sort of service to overcome their problem is not going to connect that makes you an expert, is not going to buy your product based on your selfies and all this thing. But for a lot of therapists and a lot of coaches, and I see the entire industry doing this, they've become fame success. They just want to show up and be famous. They believe that their story is different than everybody else's story. They concentrate on what they look like, their headshots, all of these things because they want to show themselves on social media. But when you really break it down and talk to these people, they're not making money. They're working a 9-to-5 job just to pay their bills and keep their business alive. But sure, they look famous on Facebook, they look famous on Instagram, but the business, the results of their business, which is a bad product because they don't have a good product, and their bank account is showing what's really going on. So again, objectively look at your business, your bank account. Is your business successful? Not based on likes and shares, but what's happening in your bank account. So if clients go looking for reviews and stuff like that, and all they come across is selfies and a very high Instagram account and Facebook followers and things like this, how is that going to convince them that you're going to be actually able to help them? Because all your time is going to be spent on doing the fame things, and what? You're going to be taking time out of creating a better product. And you can always tell these people that are obsessed with how they come across online and they're going for the fame thing over having a really good product, because they tend to have things like this at the end of the name. They'll have like entrepreneur, coach, philanthropist, NLP, speaker, and they have all these titles at the end of their name. And while they have millions and millions of followers, I'll just give you guys a comparison to me. I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. I don't have a lot of followers on Facebook or even a big YouTube channel, but I'm constantly making a ton of money across all of these social media platforms because I understand the game. I'm not here to try and look famous, because if I was, all of my time would be spent trying to come across as famous, trying to go on interviews and go to events and speak and be on people's podcasts. All that time spent trying to promote myself, I have to take away from my product. And remember, I'm product obsessed. It's something we teach all of our students to do. And what's ironic is all of our six-figure and multiple six-figure therapists and coaching students that we have are all product obsessed as well. You won't find them a lot on social media. They don't have big fans and followers and things like this, but they have an incredible product, and it's the product that makes the money. See how that's all coming together? So here's the thing you've got to understand. You do not get rich because you become famous. You become rich because of the value that you provide and how good your product is. And that value produces the fame. Speaking events, gigs, more money, joint ventures, things like this will come as a result of your product. But what is everybody trying to do? When everybody gets certified, therapists or coaches alike, they want to go looking for the podcast. They go looking for the event. They want to speak at meetups. They want to speak on stage. But who the hell is going to listen to you if, for lack of better words, and take this in the right way, you're a nobody? You don't have a product that actually works. What makes those people able to get speaking gigs, events, get sponsors by like Mind Valley and stuff like this, which would be incredible for any business, is the fact that their product works. They become famous through the product. They didn't chase fame first. They concentrated on building a really great product. So when was the last time you saw a speaker at a big gig or event who was broke and had no reviews or a good product? When was the last time you saw that? But everybody's going out of their way to try and speak on stage because they want to share their story, which is fine. But if you're, for lack of better words again, a nobody, who's going to listen to your story? It's like therapists and coaches get qualified and they want to go write a best-selling book about their journey. That's all well and good, but if you're trying to make money from the business, who's going to want to read your book? Because you're just like everybody else. Create an incredible product first and then write your autobiography. Create an incredible product, show reviews, get testimonials. That word will start to spread. And all of those things that you've been trying to chase for free, which is I'll speak on stage for free. And now you have sponsors in these big events asking for you to speak, and they're going to pay you for your time. Why? Because you have a product that actually works. You have something that people would be interested in. So when was the last time you saw at a big event someone speaking on stage that was a nobody, that didn't have a product, that just talked about their story, but there's no reviews? It never happens. It's crazy to think that it would. But everyone is trying to chase these interviews and these invites to try and look famous. Coaches and therapists become more obsessed by getting more headshots, more professional photos to try and show up every single place on social media to try and get those interviews. But when the interview's done and maybe it's only listened to by a couple of people, they've got nothing to monetize. Or the product, again, if they funnel a lot of people through this looking famous and stuff online to their product, what happens? People come out the other side of the product and go, the product was shit. It didn't work. I want my money back. Hence leading back to a bank account that's in the minuses. So everything, again, starts with a product. You probably think, Scott, stop saying that, but it is so true. Fame versus success. Success breeds fame. Fame does not breed success. I think everybody's trying to be the next Gary Vee or the next Tony Robbins or the next Marissa Peers or something like this. But they're one in the same. They're one person. You shouldn't be trying to do those things. You can't compete with that because they have millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of ads. They've done all the hard work. They've created a product that actually works to some extent or not. So right at the start, you want to be concentrating on the product because that's going to see you through even the thicker storms. When the market changes again in this industry with more competition, that's the only thing that remains. So when have you ever bought a product because of the size of that guru's following or fan base? I never have. I never bought anything because I went to their Instagram account and they had millions of Instagram followers. I didn't buy a product because they have a Facebook business page that's followed by 1 million people. I never bought a product from that. Be honest with yourself. What did you do the last product you bought? Did you not look at the reviews first? Even when you go to order something at a restaurant, don't you go to reviews? If you have a big purchase, like you buy a new car, don't you go to the reviews? You can go to the Instagram account, you can go to that Facebook page. Clients are smart enough to do the same thing. Okay, they're becoming intelligent to know that money is valuable and they don't want to waste on things that don't work. So they're going to go looking for these things. Okay, honestly, rate the product. If you've ever bought from somebody who's just famous online, look at their product and rate it. Don't you agree it was probably a really bad product? Didn't you want to get your money back? There was a lot of hype, smoke and mirrors at the start of it and a lot of followers, but the product itself sucked. I mean, even to the extent you can buy followers. A lot of people don't know this. You can buy Instagram followers. You can buy Facebook followers. You can buy these things. And a lot of gurus do this. They'll spend tens of thousands of dollars bumping up their Instagram account, bumping up their Facebook pages and all that stuff to try and look famous, just try and look the part, but their product sucks. Why? Because their time, they're ignoring the product itself and their time is spent. I want to be famous. I want to be heard. It's a bit of an ego thing at that point. But again, when all of that dies down, the hype of just marketing this new guru that comes out of nowhere for a couple of months, the only thing left is the product. How many new gurus? I've seen thousands of them come for a couple of months, all hype, all smoke and mirrors. And then a couple of months later, you can't find these people. They're absolutely nowhere. Sure, they made a little bit of money, but it came quick and then it disintegrated even quicker. They went from being somebody, all followers, all fans, to an absolute nobody. And the only legacy left behind is bad reviews. You can't even find their product online anymore because the product is all that matters. So we all have a certain amount of time per day. What will you spend your time on and what value will you provide? That's the only equation that matters. Sure, answering your clients' most common questions, like a video like this, or talking about on a YouTube video, how to quit smoking cold turkey, they're not as exciting. It's not going to get many likes. It may not get many shares, but it's going to be answering clients' most common questions. So answering your clients' most common questions, which I highly recommend, will get less likes and less shares. It will get less fame versus a scantily dressed selfie with a quote that says, live your best life. Come on, let's be honest. We've all seen those. We'll get a ton of likes, shares, comments, ego boosting. We'll get a ton of those things. But only one of these actions, answering common questions or just constantly taking selfies of yourself, one of those things will only put money in your bank account and will follow you for the rest of your career. I have videos right now that I created 4 or 5 years ago. They don't get a lot of likes, don't get a lot of shares. They're on YouTube. They get a decent amount of views that are still bringing me strategy calls today, 4 to 5 years later. But if I go to my Facebook and all the rest, I don't take selfies. I don't do quotes. I don't steal other people's stuff as far as stealing like Tony Robbins quotes and doing that stuff. If I spent all my time trying to show this face, which I'm never going to do, instead of answering my clients' most common questions, those things are going to fall in comparison and be lost in translation and be forgotten about, compared to answering a client's most common question that can be seen for the rest of my life, that's going to keep on bringing in strategy calls. So you have to make the demarcation between, do you want to be famous and forget about the product? You can't do both. It's impossible. You might say, well, Scott, I'm going to do both. Try it. See what happens. You'll run out of time. You'll run out of steam. So you're going to be famous for who you are. You're going to be famous for your product. You can only have one or the other. You either be really famous and your product will suck. Look at most gurus. Or you concentrate on the product and know that one day, even when you're retired, that product can still bring you cash and revenue even when you retire. It's either one or the other, folks. So also, there's another thing what I call building your wall of defense. Even the best product and the best service is going to have that one person, no matter how much you give them, how much value you provide, is not going to like your service. They're going to say the hypnotherapy didn't work, the coaching didn't work. They're going to leave you a negative review. So all that happens, and anybody can do this, is leave a negative review online, and then new potential clients can go looking for reviews. They're going to look for testimonials, like I mentioned before. They want to make sure they're getting what they paid for. They see that one bad testimonial, and that can ruin everything if you don't have a wall of defense. And I'll talk about this in my 100K coaching program. Your wall of defense means that if a client finds a bad review, what do we normally do? We go, okay, that's one bad review. Let me see what everybody else is saying. So they go from seeing that review, then they go to your Facebook, then they go to YouTube, they go to LinkedIn, they go looking for what everybody else is saying. And if all they can find is selfies, talking about yourself, value as far as live your best life type quotes, that's all they can find, they're going to believe in that review, because those things haven't enabled you to get more clients because your product sucks and your marketing sucks, which hasn't led you to get more positive reviews. And the positive reviews you should have got by doing the right marketing, concentrating on your product and answering your clients' most common questions, those new reviews you should have got should outdo the negative ones. So building your wall of defense is key. If you do get a bad review, you want to have a wall of positive reviews. And the only way you get positive reviews, although back to the start, product, not fame and success, not followers and likes, product. That's the only way clients will give you a review. Your product has to be great. So you want to have a positive wall of reviews, which only comes from a product that works, that can fight one bad review. Selfies will never help fight negative reviews. So how you use social media is up to you. At the end of the day, it's your business. But look at your bank account. If it's not showing money, it means that you need to then look what's happening on my social media. Am I really just trying to boost my ego? Am I really trying to just look famous? Have I forgotten about my product? Have people gone through my product, said it was okay, but not left a review? I guarantee you could spend less time on social media, shut the doors, shut the windows, and look at your product objectively and make it better than it is now, and then start showing up on social media again, getting more people through the product. Once you start noticing the product starting to work, bang, your business will take off. But again, if people aren't getting people into their product or their service, they try and do more social media. They try and become more famous. They host events. They spend all this money. They buy likes and shares, like I mentioned before. But what happens? The product still remains terrible. So this is a big one. Fame versus success. One does not lead to the other leads to the first. So please remember that. Next big problem in our industry and a big misconception is what I call diversification versus focus. And this is more around the product and the niche itself. So look what every new therapist and a coach attempts to do when they first get qualified. They try and become diversified. What do they come out and do? Well, over on the right-hand side here, you can see, and this is just something I looked up on Google. They create their entire business based on, I'm going to sell hypnotherapy or coaching, which we mentioned is not a good thing to do. That's red ocean, because it can help with smoking cessation, overeating, nail biting, bedwetting, insomnia, headaches, exam, nerves, pain, anxiety, panic attacks, phobias, bulimia, whatever it is. And they create a menu of a list that they put on their website. And this now becomes their attempt for marketing. They're trying to explain how hypnosis can work with everything. Big red ocean, instead of becoming expert in one thing. And that's what every new therapist and every new coach does. And those same people that you see doing it, or even the people you're qualified with, Go ask them how their business is doing right now. Honestly, go ask people that you know, how is their business doing? You notice that majority are still struggling to do like a $500 to $1,000 a month. If that's the case, look at what they're selling. I guarantee they're selling an entire menu of things. They're trying to diversify instead of focus on one thing. So they're trying to spread their energy across every niche, every problem, and inside those niches in attempts to increase client numbers. They believe if they niche, this is a big one, people believe if they niche, they're going to miss out on clients. But what happens is the opposite actually happens. If you don't niche, you end up just becoming another hypnotherapist, another coach. Doesn't matter who you were trained by. People don't know the difference between Tad James, Marissa Peer, and Igor Ledachovsky. They don't know because your clients don't care about hypnosis and RTT and stuff like this. So they don't know who the gurus are and they couldn't care less. They want these results. So you can't diversify and win that diversification war and saying, well, yeah, I do help everybody with everything, but I was trained by Igor or Tad James and Marissa. That's why I'm different. No, all you're doing at that point is just really selling their business. We don't want to do that as well, but I digress. Diversifying your product and your service across too many things now starts to spread your energy across too many things. And your clients will now look at you and think, well, you're just the same as everybody else because Joe Blogs down the road says all those things and he's $10 cheaper. I'm going to go with him. You need to expertise. I'm going to create this word, even if that's not a word. Expertise your service and be known in that blue ocean for that one thing. So if you try and spread yourself too thin by diversifying instead of focus, what really happens is you, the next coach, the next coach, the next coach, the next therapist, the next RTT practitioner, the next NLP trainer, the next hypnotherapist into infinity follows the same trend. And this is partly based on what we're taught in our certification. Sure, hypnotherapy and coaching can work with a variety of things, but that's inside the seminar room. But when it comes to the marketing, it's actually different. We need focus. And you begin swimming in that red ocean where the only way to win is at that price war. So you want to find one niche, one price, one offer, one service. Like I said before, we have students that we've helped build their business from absolute zero, guys. No marketing skills, probably less certifications than a lot of people, no experience, never run a business before. And within just months, they came into the business world with diversification across everything. Not even just in their niche, but I'm talking about all their marketing attempts. We narrow everything down to one, and they go from earning $0, having no clients, to hitting 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 30 grand a month. We've even had reports of the year just gone of students hitting beyond $50,000 and $60,000 per month. One product, one service, one niche, one offer. But they couldn't even get one client when they were trying to diversify. So it's a bit ironic that it actually works that way. And that's why I'm giving you this advice. So one of everything. Answer yourself this. If I had one service that worked incredibly well and you are known for that service, you're known for that one thing, why would you take your focus of making that thing that is good, making it even better and better again and better again and better again and again into infinity and dilute your focus by adding another product? I'll give you an example of this. When I first launched my 100K coaching program, it did well. How do I know it did well? Students got results and I made money. That's it. They're both the same. If my students didn't get results, I wouldn't make money. If I didn't make money, it means I'm not getting student results. So I could have diversified. I could have said, okay, I've got one product that's doing good. I'm going to make another product. Get that one working good. Another product, get that one working good. But obviously, the more products I make, the more energy and focus I've got to take away from one product into the next one, into the next one. Before long, I've got 30 different products that are just okay. So what did I do? I took my 100K coaching program that was working well based on what my students were telling me, and I made it better. And then I made it better, and I made it better and better and better. And that is what I'll focus on for the rest of my career until I cannot improve this product anymore. So while everyone's making 30 to 50 subpar products, I'm concentrating on just two. We have two main products, and that's all I'm focused on. So you've got to ask yourself, if I eventually find a product or a service or an offer that I know works, why would you bring in another product and dilute it to create 30 different products that are just okay? Because now you're in that red ocean again. And how many programs have you bought that are just okay? A lot of hype, a lot of smoke and mirrors, as we talked about before, but the product sucks. So one niche, one service, one offer. If you risk creating services that are not refined or good enough, results of the product, and you create 15 products with 30 different prices, 10 different landing pages with all funnels attached to them, each product becoming subpar. That's what's going to happen. As soon as you start adding more to any system or starting to dilute your business by adding too many things, too many niches, you're going to take the time and focus away from the things that actually work. So answer this as well. Have you ever seen a great therapist or a great coach or a great mentor that teaches hypnosis, coaching, NLP, masters, healing? They teach business, marketing, how to use Facebook ads, how to create funnels, how to host events, mindset. They run their own practice, teach it in an academy, have their own academy, make online products, teach you how to make webinars, host meetups, host mastermind runs, 3 Facebook groups, mentors, therapists, and coaches. Have you ever seen that person exist? No, because people diversify because they don't know what works. If you saw that person, I can guarantee every product they had would suck. They'd just be subpar at everything. You find the best trainers and the best mentors and the best gurus have one thing, and that's what they're known for. And they are incredible at that one thing. But everybody wants to do everything for everybody because they believe that's how they're going to get more clients. But the opposite actually happens. The more you diversify, the more you're going to end up in that red ocean where you do not want to be. Once you find what works, don't just become satisfied with how it works. Make it better and better and better and better and become the guru, the only person in the world that is good at that one thing. Focus over diversification every single time. Next thing I want to talk about, and everybody says this, my business can't scale. I can't make more money in my businesses. The reason your business does not scale and will not scale, no matter how big your following is, no matter how big your fame is, no matter how much you diversify, no matter how many different types of niches you try, the reason your business cannot scale is because what's not happening at the surface. It's what's happening behind the curtain, so to speak, that service. You have no systems, no plan, and no tracking. Now, for the back end of any business, regardless of what you might believe, this is the bread and butter to the reason why they are successful. They have the product, but now they have to have the systems, the plan, and the tracking to assure that that product is seen by the right people. So coaches and therapists rely on the latest funnels, ad hacks, meetup groups, website layouts, SEO tricks, new social media platforms, and too much diversification in time allocation. The time is spread too thin. If you cannot track, repeat, and improve the activities for you to get clients in our program, the lingo we use is CGAs, client getting activities. To tell my students, go and do plenty of CGAs, client getting activities, and one of them is improving the product. It means that everything you do fails to yield a result. What do you do? So if you don't know what's working in your business, you do not know what you have to do each day to get clients. You do not know what to automate in your business and what to leave alone. You do not know what to ignore in your business and make other things better. How are you going to figure out how to grow this business? That's the reason your business can't scale, because you're not relying on systems, a plan, and you cannot track what is working. You're essentially throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. So what happens when you're doing all of these activities across all this social media platforms, all this diversification, trying to look famous, speaking at events, doing all of this stuff, and maybe something does happen to work? How are you going to figure out what did work? How are you going to track it? You've got too many things going on. So what do? Well, even if those things are not working, you think, well, okay, I'm doing all of these millions of things. My to-do list is massive. I'm still not making money. What's my next option? I just guess I have to do more. So you add more to it. You create new accounts for new social media platforms, and you use all the new social media gimmicks. You create invisible funnels. You open new Facebook groups. You create more programs, more prices, more offers. You start diversifying even more. Then if something does work, you cannot see where or how it happened. You can't see, I did this action and this action caused a paying client. So you cannot double down on what works and you ignore everything else. And this, again, why people say my business can't scale. And I look at their business, it's just a mess of activities. Their to-do list is huge. They're doing so many things, but it's not yielding any results. So furthermore, this is important when it comes to scaling your business. You as the human being or the operator of that business can become a hindrance to the scaling as well. Why is this the case? If you cannot document the process, what I mean by this, if you don't know exactly what you need to do, what button to push or what word to say that is essentially going to spit out a paying client every single time, If you can't repeat that and document that, it means that you cannot pass it on to somebody else to do it for you, whether it's a VA, it's a team member or something like this, or even an automation. So what happens is, furthermore, if you cannot document the process of how you get clients or why your business is successful, means you cannot hire a VA, employ automation, a team member or staff that can do the work for you, freeing up your time to concentrate on the only thing that matters, which is your product and its improvements. So in my company right now, I documented everything. I know how to get clients. If I wake up in the morning, I want to get a new person into my program, I know exactly what to do. And because I've documented that process, I can pass it on to my VAs. And now my VAs can do all the exact same work as I can do myself. They can do it for me, freeing up hours of my day to do what? Improve my product. That's where my concentration is. The majority of my day, 7 days a week, and all I'm thinking about, even though my product is great and it's proven to get thousands of results as we are right now, always thinking about how can I make this thing better? But I couldn't do that if I didn't have somebody else help me with the social media. But a lot of therapists and coaches go and hire a VA right at the start and expect the VA to build the business for them. VA says, well, what do you want me to do? And the student says, or the business owner says, well, I don't know. Can you just do some social media? Go share these posts and these videos. Now they're guessing while you're guessing. You want to be able to document the process, document the actions that you took to get your first couple of paid clients, pass it off to somebody else, and concentrate on your time, the only thing that matters, which is making a better product. You make a better product, you make more money. You make more money, you'll have even more time to create a better product all the way down the line. So a system that requires a human being, like I said before, you can be a hindrance to the growth. A system that requires a human being to push the buttons will eventually burn out. You will burn out. If you're with this old school way of just doing everything at once, not tracking, not concentrating on your product, trying to be famous, you'll burn out and you'll get nowhere and you'll have no legacy to leave behind because you've got no product in the first place. So a system that requires a human being to push buttons will eventually burn out. Human beings need rest and recuperation. Holidays, they also need to be paid. They need to eat and drink, and they need to be communicated with. They need to be trained and retrained over and over and over. That's yourself, but it could also be for VAs and team members. So even beyond having VAs and team members is knowing what part of your business can you take the human being out and systemize and automate it with some sort of technology. Great thing about technology, a system that is automated, has automated elements, can work for you without any of the above. An automated system that you can highly tune to get clients for you doesn't need a break, doesn't need to be paid, doesn't need a holiday, doesn't need to eat, doesn't need to sleep. It means that your business never has to sleep. At the end of the day is this: if your business stops making money when you stop, and that's the reason you can't scale, if your business stops when you stop for the day, you stop making money every time you are not pushing that money-making button. So if you start your day at 9 a.m. and you work through to 5 p.m., and then you get offline for the day and you have no automation that can continue to do the things that you did from 9 till 5 for the rest of the day. So when you wake up, you can take over that automation and then give it back to the automation, take over, see how that's going 24 hours a day, means that you're missing out on half a day's cash and revenue. So you have to be able to have systems and automation in your business that can run your business for you while you sleep, or even to the extent that you want to have a rest and go on holidays and things like this. Again, this is a big reason why our students scale so quickly, because the automation we teach them and give them from their business now takes over their entire business, and their concentration can be on what? The product, because that's the only thing that makes money. You're seeing how this is all related back to that product. So if your business can't scale, it means you have no systems, no plan, and no tracking. If you don't get those things, you're going to burn out. And then you're going to go back to saying, my marketing doesn't work. And then you're going to be convinced that you need to do more of all the wrong things. It all comes down to knowing the business and the system itself. So the next big thing, based on what I just talked about before, is systems, repetition, and time. A lot of people don't like the time element, but this is so important. So let me answer these questions. Do you know what you need to do each day to get a paid client? Yes or no? Do you know exactly what words to say in your marketing across Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is, that will get your clients' attention and turn them into paying clients? Yes or no? Do you know what social media platforms or marketing inputs, these are activities, CGAs that you're doing each day, to concentrate on that are proven to get results, and which ones to ignore? You actually know which ones are? What are your value tasks that actually make you money? And where's all your time spent that's wasting time? So do you know which actions you take that actually make you money and what ones actually waste your time? Well, if you say no to all of the above of that, how do you expect to grow and run a business? So without knowing these things, you are now at the mercy of your business not scaling. Okay, you should realize this right now. Business is about repetition. Know what to do at certain times, when not to do them, when to do more of the things that work, and what to not waste your time on. But what does everybody else do? They just want to do everything because that's the fame thing. I'm chasing fame and to be shown everywhere. That's the reason why I'll be successful. So most are just concentrating on just making noise. They think it's good enough just to show up online, dance around on camera, do the TikTok thing. We just point at certain words and that's going to grow my business. Well, it's not the case. Definitely not going to work. So they're almost like trying to do the famous things. Remember, fame equals success, apparently. So they're busy creating and running promotions, changing niches every 2 weeks, and basically following the crowd. It's become like a monkey see, monkey do attitude. They're chasing the next shiny object. They've forgotten about systems, repetition, and time. So what happens with repetition is our most successful students realize one thing, and I realized this very early in my company as well. When it started to take off and I started to make a lot of money and get a lot of very happy and successful students, the business became boring. Why? Because it was designed that way. Boring comes to the extent that I'm doing the same thing each day. And why wouldn't I? Why would I risk pushing a different button if that button is proven not to work or has no proof that it will work? Hence the shiny object thing. Here are all these gurus and people screaming at me on Facebook and Instagram saying, if you want to have a successful business, you need to have the funnels, you've got to have the email list, you've got to love yourself and be authentic, you've got to become a storyteller, it's a best-selling Amazon bestseller. And I have to ignore all these things because I've never seen proof that they actually work, in my case anyway. But I'm concentrating on the things I know that works and I'm ignoring everything else. And business and growing a company does become boring. But at the end of the day, if your goal is to have happy students and make money, you've got to follow and do the same things. But for the average therapist or coach or person in general trying to grow their business, they get bored very, very quickly. So the repetition and time becomes boring for most people. And what happens when it's bored, when it becomes boring? We are tuned as human beings to go looking for things that excite us. To the extent we actually stop doing the things that are proven to work. I've seen therapists and coaches do extraordinary work in their business, make a lot of money, do really great things, have a great product. Then a couple of months later, you can see them sort of get bored and all of a sudden they've changed their niche. They've changed the funnel. They've changed the website. They've changed the marketing. They've changed the label. They're no longer a therapist. They're now an entrepreneur and a philanthropist. They've changed something to the extent that it got boring, even though they were making money because they went chasing for the exciting things. And when you let excitement come into the business and the company, unfortunately, you lose track of what's actually working. So what happens is we're attuned to look for things that excite us to the extent we stop doing the things that proves us or is proving for us to get paid clients based on what we're tracking, because it's become mundane and we look for exciting things, shiny objects. So we switch up our entire business. This new idea about a new niche that's come out, or a new funnel, or you've got to become a storyteller, or you've got to become this type of healer, gets our attention because what we're doing, although we're doing is making money, is getting boring for us. We switch up our entire business. And I just cringe when I see this. Even though we're making money, but it's boring, we rebuild everything on this new, this will make you more money idea. We build our entire legacy on this brand new idea by this hyped up program with no proof, because you didn't look for proof or results or testimonies. You just went along with the shiny object. You went along with all the hype and you fell for it. You spend months building, tuning and iterating this thing. It doesn't work. You instantly stop making money. All the clients and success stories you had before go away because you changed everything. You screwed with the things that were actually making you money and you wanted to rebuild something new because it got boring. So even though you rebuild this thing, it's all shiny, exciting at the start, you stick to it for a couple of months, and what happens? It gets boring too. You find another shiny object. You rebuild it all again, that gets boring too. Eventually, after about 6 to 12 months of doing this, you do this half a dozen times, you come back to what works, realize, shit, I just made a big mistake. You come back to what works, and somebody else has taken your fame. Somebody else has become the expert, or the way you rebuild it no longer works because you've forgotten the systematic approach to building this thing. You've forgotten what works. Now you're building it based on what you remember or what you think works. So we go back to the thing that was working, we rebuild it again, it gets boring again. If it does start working, shiny object again into infinity. And I can always see this across therapists and coaches, because one week you're a trainer, next you're a social anxiety expert, next you're a keto diet expert, the next you're a tarot card reader, next you're a business coach, the month after that you're a hypnotherapy trainer, and you cycle through all of these different niches, all these different labels, because you're always trying to follow what's exciting. But business is based on repetition, and you have to allow time to come in and correct things. Another reason why therapists and coaches do this, they attempt a niche for about 2 weeks, doesn't work. They don't allow time to allow them to be seen in the industry, time to improve the product, and time to do all the things we talked about so far. Doesn't work after 2 weeks. They convince themselves that, yes, I've done all the work possible. I've been working really hard at this, even though they've made like one post and one video an entire month. They change the niche. That one doesn't work for 2 weeks. They change the niche again. They change the structure. They change the business. They get a 9-to-5 job. They come back. They get another certification. They become an NLP trainer. They spend their money and their time on all of these things, and they're missing the point because they didn't allow time to allow people in the industry, in a very oversaturated industry, in a red ocean, to see their differentiation. So you have to allow time, repetition, to catch up in your business. And you have to be able to systemize these things so they become repeatable every day. So you're not waking up each day thinking, how am I going to get a client? Should I do this? Should I do that? If that's the first thought in your business, when you wake up in the morning, you've already lost. It doesn't matter what good marketing you do. It's not going to fix the real core problem. So systems, repetition, and time, and not following shiny objects and doing the monkey see, monkey do attitude, and changing your niche every 2 to 3 weeks, and spending all your time and extra money on things that will not work in your business, and now you've lost track of what actually does, will ruin your entire business, and you'll be forever chasing. It's like a dog chasing their own tail. And within a couple of years of that, you'll get bored, you'll get over it, you've spent all your money. You look back and think, well, the coaching industry doesn't work, my marketing doesn't work. You know, it's everybody else's fault. No, you took your eye off the prize. It was your fault. You were looking at all the wrong things. So how do you survive this? I've thrown a lot of information at you. Hopefully it's opened up your eyes, and probably not a lot of things you wanted to hear. And I've probably not only burst a lot of your bubbles, but for some of you might be a little bit annoyed with what I say, but I'm just telling you the truth. This is exactly what's happening in the industry. So how do you survive this? If you are interested in surviving this industry and actually making an impact and being product obsessed, systems, building things the right way, getting into your blue ocean, sticking to your niche, knowing what to do and when to do and what to ignore, how do you survive this? Well, there's one surefire way you can survive this, and I'll give you these right now. So when listening to experts, people that talk up all the hype, the smoke and mirrors, when listening to experts, don't listen to their words. Don't listen to what people are screaming at you at Facebook and saying, you have to do the email list, have to do TikTok, have to do Instagram, has to be YouTube. You've got to have this funnel and this website, free sessions, discounts. Don't listen to these things. Don't listen to the words that people are saying. Look at the results of their own actions. Anyone can teach themselves to be rich and successful. A broke person can jump on Instagram and Facebook, buy all the shares and likes and comments of places like Fiverr and things like that, look famous, try and sell a product, which a lot of marketers did, back in the day. You could basically just have a subpar product, but really good at marketing. You'd make a lot of money, but it doesn't fly anymore. They can look famous online, and they can claim to be able to help you grow your business, be more successful, have a better mindset, have this or experience that. But don't listen to their words. Look at their actions. Anyone can claim to be successful. Anyone can claim to be a guru in this. But if they're claiming to be able to help you, but they don't offer any proof or testimonials or results for their own, other than just themselves, run. Do diligent research. If you're looking for a mentor or you do want a shiny object, look at the results, not what the results are told to you by the mentor who says, I can help you build a 7-figure business. Here's my Ferrari. Here's my large house. Here's all the money I can spend. I can help you do the same. Look deeper. What are the testimonials? Where's the proof? What are the results? Results leave traces. They leave people talking about that product or that service. If you go looking deeper with due diligence and you don't see results, you don't see testimonials, but you've got some guru claiming to be the next business coach, you've got to weigh up. What do I believe here? Do I believe that they're just successful themselves and they've got all these millions of students that are successful, but I can't see one bit of proof? You make the decision whether you listen to that person or not. Okay, so even for myself, I'm results driven because I've concentrated so much on my product. It's the reason why we have so many results, because I know that's what people are looking for. And that's my thing I'm concentrating on. I don't care about the fame. I get asked to speak at events. I get asked to speak at major, gigs and events all over the world, and to be like this JV partner and do all of this. I don't want any of that because that's not important. If I concentrate on that, I'm going to be like most other gurus anyway that go and do that. It's going to take time away from my product, and it's the only thing that matters. So adopt that attitude as well. Next, realize your clients are becoming a lot smarter. They are searching for you online. They're looking at reviews. They're wanting to see how deep your knowledge goes before they make a decision about you. But if all they can find are selfies, all they can find is you talking about yourself, professional headshots and things like this, but they can't find reviews, they have no reason to buy your service. But remember, the only reason you have people in your service is because you have a good product. Okay, so they're interchangeable. You have to do both. You'll get both out of applying that one strategy. But if your business is just around you looking famous or trying to be famous or show up online, fame doesn't equal success. Look at your bank account. If your bank account's in the negative, change things up. Next, don't become obsessed with likes, shares, comments, and like I said, chasing that fame. Look at what people are saying about your product. If it's negative, fix it. Objectively look at your product. If people aren't leaving you positive results or testimonies about your product, no matter how much you think it's good, objectively look at it and take it as a criticism. Like, okay, it's not as good as I thought. I'm going to make it better. So if you're getting negative results, it's not the people, it's the product itself. But if you're getting great results, don't stop at great. Make the product better and better and better. So instead of creating 30 different subpar products, make one high ticket product that is just fucking groundbreaking, that just shakes up the whole industry. You create a product or a service that even top gurus that you follow start to comment on how good your product is. And now you're getting awareness of people that are gurus. And now those people that are sponsored, the gurus that are sponsored by other companies and marketing companies, start to hear about you as well. An example would be like Mindvalley. Now Mindvalley comes along and they start to sponsor you and share your product with everybody else. But do you think they're going to share a crappy product that has no reviews, but you just think it's good even though it's not? No. You don't go looking for these things and telling people to, market your product or your service. Make it good. And when it's good, don't be satisfied. Make it the best thing the industry has ever known. Because one day when you retire, that product, that service will outlast you. An example of this is Milton Erickson. Back in the 70s, Milton Erickson was charging like $2,500 to work with a client. Some of those clients he saw for like 10 minutes. In today's money, it works out maybe like $8,000 or $10,000 per client. There was no marketing back then. There's no Facebook. There's no Instagram. There's no selfies. There's nothing like that. So how did clients from all over the world travel globally to come and see this old man sitting in a granny flat in the back of his house in a wheelchair? How did people that were claiming to be the top level therapists and gurus fly all around the world to come and sit in a room with him and be taught how to do hypnotherapy? Why? Because he improved his product. And now, even 40, 50 years later, whatever it is, since he's passed away, unfortunately, there are something like 30 or 35 hypnotherapy schools based on his training. It's unfortunate he became really famous once he passed away. But you see my point. All Milton Erickson had was the product. Not the fame, nothing like that. Even if you read up on NLP, like Richard Bandler, when they studied Milton Erickson for NLP, Milton Erickson said, I do not want to be on tape. I don't want to be recorded. He wasn't interested in the fame. So why would Richard Bandler and John Grinder and people from all over the world, experts, want to come and sit with this one guy? And why is he mentioned 50 years later as being the greatest thing since, in therapy since whatever? Because his product was so good. That's how you leave a legacy, not because you're famous. Remember, you create fame, it's probably because your product sucks. Okay, so never stop improving your product. Become product obsessed. Next is smoke and mirrors, fame, hype, and flash will always die. Gurus will come and go. Some, unfortunately, will come into the industry, a lot of hype, a lot of fame, a lot of renting mansions and renting penthouses and cars and women and doing all that stuff. I mean, just for the ads and stuff like that, look famous and say, I've got this mindset course. You can have this mansion and these Ferraris within 2 weeks if you just, buy my mindset course for $1,000. They'll make a ton of money. Then they'll disappear on purpose. Everybody will get to the end of that product, realize it's shit, and they can't find the person that sold them. Unfortunately, that person makes all the money and everyone gets burnt. Don't be one of those people. When all the smoke and mirrors, the hype and the flash die, the only thing you'll be remembered by is your product. That's it. Next, set up long-term systems that you can document. Teach others how to do it so you can put your time into the things that matter, which is your product. Lastly, look at the market, look at the niche, look at your product, your service, and every therapist and coach in the industry, and ask yourself honestly, is my product different or am I in a red ocean? Am I trying to sell the same thing as everybody else? Am I chasing fame? Am I chasing likes, shares, and comments? What does my bank account look like? So guys, that's the end of this. Probably is a very long video. Really hope you took notes. I recommend rewatching this again. This is the raw truth and the reality for the industry that you've chosen to be in. I hope it's inspired you to do something different. I hope it's changed your entire mindset on how to run your business. But this is the pinnacle of being successful. Ignore these, probably like these real truths that I'm telling you right now, and you'll notice your business suffers an example to what it could be. So that's all from me for today, guys. I will tell you to like this video, share it with everybody you know. I'm going to see you on the next video. Bye for now, guys.